Hello, my name is Scott Davis. Welcome to New World Birth. This is the care and feeding of a New World Age report for the Gregorian date of January 10th, 2016, and one man or eagle in the Mayan Zolkin calendar with the sun entering into Aquarius. And January 10th is one man or eagle, and it carries the themes of higher perspective, keen vision, free spirit, the messenger of faith and knowledge, patience, wings of spirit, value, manifestation of fertility, knowing the details, dualities of the sun and moon, the budding youth and the wise elder, male and female, the soaring eagle and the fallen eagle, the messenger between heaven and earth. It also represents luck, hope, liberty, trust, good fortune, and good relationships. And eagles have this quality of being able to observe movements from a great distance. The one eagle Trisena could be well used to gain greater perspectives about events in our lives through creating some distance between observer and the observed. And having Mercury and Jupiter retrograde during this Trisena also supports many of the eagle themes of patience with regards to faith and knowledge. And before I get into the daily energy for one man or eagle, on the 10th, all the planets appear to be moving direct from our perspective here on the Earth, except for Mercury and Jupiter, which are appearing to be moving retrograde or in reverse motion from our perspective here on the Earth. And remember, the themes of retrograde planets are review of the past, reevaluate, reminisce, and we can see these themes being played out. Mercury turned retrograde on January 5th and turns direct on the 25th. So this Trisena would be a good time to avoid signing contracts or other legal papers, making any major purchases, even taking a new job. If you can postpone these activities, the terms will be much clearer after Mercury is moving direct. Mercury retrogrades force us to slow down and pay more attention to our lives by making us focus on the details of our daily experience. And when we're looking at the retrograde cycles of any of the personal or inner planets, it provides information about a correction to our present course. And then Jupiter was the king of the gods in mythology, and this planet is about good fortune, opportunities, faith, religion, beliefs, expansion. Again, some of those same themes that we see with Eagle. And Jupiter is in Virgo, and Virgo is about organization, health, and services. Mostly what I find with Jupiter retrograde, as with any retrograde cycle, there's a review of the past. And with Jupiter, what gets reviewed are missed opportunities. So let's look at the daily vibrational energy for this Trisena. January 10th is one man or eagle. This is about unity experience through seeing from a higher perspective in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. I'm not going to be covering the daily lunar activity in these reports other than new and full moons, but that information is available on the New World Birth daily Facebook post and also on the blogger New World Birth blog. The 11th is two key Hebrew wisdom duality experience through introspection, meditation, and forgiveness. January 12th is 3 Kaban, or Earth, which is about taking action through gratitude for Mother Earth, while we have Venus in a trine to Uranus. So from our perspective here on Earth, Venus and Uranus are forming a 120-degree angle, which wants social experiences and romantic encounters to be outside of the norm, unusual and surprising. This is a great day to try something out of the ordinary. The daily routine just really won't cut it under this influence. Folks are looking to do something stimulating in their social lives and relationships. It's a day where there may be a unique encounters and love relationships that begin under this influence are exciting, electric, unstable, and short, but have the potential to change our lives. Experiencing different types of entertainment is also favored by this transit by enjoying music, art, or theater that's outside of your normal choices. The 13th is for Etsnob, or Flint, stability through being introspective. And at this point, we have the sun in a trine to Jupiter. So it's, again, another 120-degree angle from our perspective here on the Earth. which this Sun trine Jupiter is one of the most positive transits at bringing enthusiasm and optimism. It can also have the effect of people feeling lazy, but I would encourage folks to use this energy to accomplish something good for yourself. This is a day to project positive energy into the environment that can have some influence on your affairs and accomplishing something that you desire. Some will see this as just dumb luck, but this transit has its roots in something that was done in the recent past. This is great energy for making changes in your life without feeling a sense of loss. This is also good for studying something that's of interest to you, particularly subjects that help you see the world as a whole. And then on January 14th is 5 Kawak, or storm, empowerment through recognizing the gifts of adversity. And at this point, Mercury has retrograded back enough that it is now conjunct the Sun, meaning from our perspective here on the Earth, that Mercury and the Sun are at the same degree of Capricorn, at 23 degrees Capricorn. Prior to turning retrograde, Mercury was way out in front of the Sun, and then it retrogrades back to conjoin the Sun, and then it falls behind the Sun. And prior to mechanized warfare, generals would send their cavalry out ahead of the infantry to scout the enemy's location, find possible resources, as well as the lay of the terrain to move troops with maximum efficiency, safety, and to their strategic advantage. And when I think about Mercury, when it's stretched out in front of the Sun, gathering intelligence to report back to our consciousness during its conjunction with the Sun. And I'm going to use these two markers connected with a rubber band. I'm hoping to kind of illustrate this pattern. Mercury is represented by the black marker, and the Sun represented by the red marker. When we have Mercury out in front of the Sun, creating tension as it's moving far in front of the Sun, this becomes easier to become overwhelmed by the increase of new information that seems to have no place to be deposited. And it can increase our anxiety with a sense of losing control. But then as Mercury retrogrades, the tension decreases until it merges with the Sun, which happens on January 14th, finding a destination for the intelligence that is gathered. And then once Mercury is behind the Sun, Mercury feels as though it's creating drag or retards the possibilities of implementing the new data until it gains forward motion in its pursuit of the Sun on January 25th. Also on the 14th, we have Mercury in a trine to Jupiter. So again, from our perspective here on Earth, Mercury is forming a 120-degree angle with Jupiter. And this is great energy for making plans for the future from an overview perspective. This does not influence us to take it does influence us to take the easy way out and maybe avoid difficult intellectual or mental problems. But Mercury, supported by Jupiter, is good for business dealings and signing contracts, as we find our minds are sharper to see opportunities that normally are overlooked. This is optimistic and promotes positive thinking and studying subjects that deal with a high level of thought, such as law, philosophy, religion. Jupiter's influence on Mercury brings open-mindedness and positive communications to reach a greater understanding. And then also on the 14th, we've got Venus square Chiron, which could make us aware of our wounds or old emotions regarding how we relate to others and or what we value. The 15th is 6 Ahau, or Sun, being in the flow through honoring our wisdom and memory of our ancestors in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. The January 16th is 7 Imish, or crocodile, which is about reflection through nurturing new beginnings. The 17th is 8 Eek, or wind, balance through communication in the Soul King calendar. January 18th is 9 Akbal, or night, which is about patience experience through contemplating the stars. And at this point, we have Venus in a square to Jupiter. So the square is a 90-degree angle. This is another great transit. The energy of the square is usually pretty agreeable. And in folks, they feel good. It's enjoying social interactions. It's a great day for doing something you enjoy. Not so good for doing something you have to do, as it is pretty low in self-discipline. This is tough on dieters because something you have because people have the urge to indulge in rich and sweet foods, with a caution about eating or drinking too much under this influence. This also applies to shoppers, as we will have a tendency to overspend on non-essentials with Venus square Jupiter. Also on the 18th, we have Mars in a trine to Neptune. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Mars and Neptune are again another one of those 120-degree trines. This is good for using our energy in activities that benefit others rather than helping ourselves. This can also inspire us to seek spiritual knowledge about how we relate to others and the universe. Neptune balances the high physical energy that we normally have with a Mars transit, and actually may leave us feeling like doing very little. This makes us more conscious of the needs and wants of others. This is a good trine to look at our lives and the world more objectively, without judgment, due to Neptune softening Mars's desires with a detachment. Folks are more likely to do charitable work with the poor or disadvantaged people, with a caution against seeing yourself as a savior for those who are worse off. This transit also favors spiritual practices, creativity, and compassion. And the 19th is 10 Khan, or seed, or lizard. This is about manifestation through planting seeds and making new connections. While Mercury is a sextile to Chiron, this is harmonious energy for reaching a deeper understanding of healing old wounds, which will eventually grow into wisdom. January 20th is 11 Chichan, or serpent, which is about resolution through being flexible. And at this point, the sun enters Aquarius. So if you can imagine that the handle of this pointer is the Earth, and that the pointer itself is line of sight, then we would just imagine that at this point, the Earth has moved on its orbit to this point where it now pictures the sun against the background of Aquarius in the tropical system. So this really shifts our focus to social consciousness, while being true to our individuality, to share our inventive ideas with groups and communities. This is future-oriented. It is a sign of innovation that comes from being unorthodox in thinking. And then also on the 20th, we have Mercury in Capricorn, and it's being challenged by Uranus in Aries. So from this perspective, this is again another 90-degree angle, a square. This is a stressful alignment that pits the traditional thinking against the rebellious new views. And since the outer planets tend to have more power, I believe that any rigid conservative ideas will be attacked and transformed or released to make way for more innovative concepts. But of course, this is Uranus involved, so it's unpredictable. Anything can happen. And of course, Mercury's retrograde, so thinking is more likely to move in reverse. So it could really go either way. This could also be a time of increased protest with a potential recklessness and violence. Personally, this can be quite stimulating and bring fascination with new phenomena. Flexibility is really the key to this transit because the more rigid our thinking, the more nerve-wracking the effect. Expect the unexpected surprises and upsets, and you'll have the best chance to go with the flow, which may mean that plans for that day do not go as expected. Epiphanies are more likely, so you may want to capture your genius thoughts in some form of record keeping to re-examine in the days that follow. The pace is fast, which can lead to sloppiness. It's a day to be careful of making sudden, unexpected moves, as accidents are more likely under this influence. And the 21st is 12 Kimi, or transformation, understanding through releasing what no longer serves us in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. And then January 22nd is 13 Manik, or deer, movement to the next stage through being of service to others. And at this point, Mercury is then conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, so they're both, I think, about 15 degrees Capricorn. This intensifies mental activity with a penetrating quality to communications, along with having a critical eye for what needs to be transformed in our environment. On a mental level, this is a penetrating quality to go deep and discover the truth, in which superficiality does not cut it. This also indicates a capacity to influence others and speak with a persuasive voice. People will present opinions as facts, believing that they are right and the others are wrong. So be careful of who you engage in under this transit, as many will make a statement with no regard to the feelings of the listener, which they may then interpret as threatening. This can also bring more acute powers for penetrating analysis of human nature, which is best not shared without an invitation to do so. Let's not forget this transit is affecting everyone, so we are likely to be the recipient of these behaviors from others, as well as being the perpetrator. Probably the best use of this transit is get preoccupied with a project or idea that you can work on independently from others and wait to share with them on another day. With Mercury interacting with the departing Uranus-Pluto square, we may become aware of some area in our life that needs change and adjustment. So no matter what the energies are that are affecting you doing this one eagle Trisena, take some time to be in the flow by being, being the flow of the planet by watching a sunrise or a sunset, communing with the stars, being conscious of the moment through introspection, meditation, or being with somebody you love. Every day we have is a blessing, no matter what dramas beckon to distract us. We're all here just giving the performance of a lifetime on this world stage. Just take some time to observe your play as well as act your part by remembering you're a spiritual being that's having a human experience. And I want to thank you for checking out New World Birth. The next segment of Care and Feeding of New World Age will be on January 23rd for one Lamont or Star or Rabbit or Venus, with the Leo full moon, Venus entering Capricorn, and Mercury turning direct. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, or the Mayan Magics website, and I encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose. And as always, I invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you've got any questions or wish to schedule a reading. And I am providing readings and wish to make this service available to the greatest amount of folks. So I've created 3 options with 3 levels of compensation. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me, as I would love to provide you a reading during these uncertain times. And you need to be able to either call me in Maine in the USA, or we can connect with Skype to receive your reading. And just to let you know, I've had the same prices for readings for about 3 years now. So I am looking at raising the rates in the coming month. So if you're interested in getting a reading at the current rates, please contact me sooner rather than later. We're also accepting donations to keep these reports freely available, and you can contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you wish to make a donation or get a reading. The readings I offer are quite intense. They're quite lengthy. There's lots of testimonials about them out on the Mayan Magic's website, you know, people find them very beneficial, and I really do try to cover all the details to help people, you know, with what's going on in your life, and I would be blessed to have that opportunity to do that with you as well. Anyway, as always, I am blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries and their application to our journey in this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, in Lakesh, and you know, great gratitude to you, and look forward to connecting with you in a reading or a future video, or over the email if you've got a question. All right, peace, everybody.